Anyways, welcome to my channel. Um, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm about to do a reading for all of us. And I asked what this reading was going to be about. And what I heard is cranking up the interference during a crucial period. So, there's something crucial happening, right? I don't know what this crucial thing is. Sleep is crucial. That didn't happen. Sleep is absolutely crucial. And that did not happen for me last night. Your girl is grumpy today. Why, thank you. Let me go ahead and like. Thank you, Kitty Claw. So let me just pull some cards. I'm gonna try and make this as short as possible. Just because I am still trying to guess what, guys? I just saw it is Ocean Lover's birthday today. It's her birthday, so if y'all can join me in singing happy birthday. Look at this face that she's making. Ready, guys? Let's start singing. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Okay, that's enough. Y'all, if you could please remind Ocean how much we love her, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Amazing. And I will take your advice, Ocean. I will go ahead and find my valerian. And I will double the dosage. And take some as soon as this live stream is done and try to sleep. So, okay, there's a lot of things that are going on with the energy, right? And these things that are going on with the energy are very disruptive. So, whatever it is, like last night, I'm sure I'm not the only one that had such broken sleep. Great. I kept being woken up every 30, 40 minutes. I'm pretty sure I was experiencing someone else's experience, I'm pretty sure that was not my own because I do not wake up between 3 and 4 a.m. thinking, oh my God, I gotta go to the gym. No. That's a little too early for me. I'm like, ew. So there's something going on, okay? Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. And, I am trying to fake the funk. I feel so fake right now. I'm trying to be positive and like positive and if my attitude if my real attitude comes out in the middle of this reading, you just already your disclaimer. You could pop off right now. You can, okay? It's going to come out at some point. I feel it. That bitch is clawing at the edges. Okay, let's get started. So, your higher self is trying to respect the process that you're in, right? But at the same time, it's like you're not really believing this process, and that's making it hard for you to clear out the blockages that are preventing this process, whatever it is. So tomorrow's a 222 portal, okay? And with that 222 portal, how many of you, and don't tell me what region you're from, we're a global community, how many of you are scheduled to be experiencing a snowstorm either tonight or starting tomorrow, lasting for a few days? How many of you? You know, that's not by coincidence. Do you think it's coincidence that every time it's about to snow, they are spraying so much in the sky? I'm just saying. There is something that is trying to be blocked through aerial coverage. Okay? Um, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. There are things that are trying to be blocked. Um, you guys already have heard me in the past talking about how there is a second solar consciousness that has approached, and the sun is a holding tank. It's a repository, energetic repository, holding the excess consciousness that we carry inside our body. And so what ends up happening is if that's blocked, so there's interference going on. Okay. There's a lot of interference. And for those who are like, oh my God, but I mean, that's a conspiracy. Actually, it's not. It's already been admitted that there are technologies that exist and have been being used for quite some time. These are technologies that, when in use, you can see the pulse register on a Doppler radar. You can see it. You can see the the electromagnetic pulsing over the regions, and then you can see the effects on on the Doppler radar first off, and you can see the clouds. They're redirected. This has been shown through, what is TLS? What's TLS? I think it was you that commented that on another video, and I was wondering what that is. My brain is going on overdrive. I don't know what that is. Is that a website? No, none of my information comes from that kind of stuff, whatever that stuff is. Mine comes from conversations that I have between the self and the soul. So I'm not sure what that is. I don't know. But these are things that have been in existence for quite some time, like quite some time. It's an organization. I don't do well in organizations. I don't. I don't. The novelty of me wears off very quickly for organizations, and then they begin to realize they cannot force me to comply. And then it becomes just a really, inconvenient thing for them to have me around. Because I'm like, no, no, but why? But why? But why? That's what ends up happening. So tough luck, sugar. I've been trying to figure out what that TLS thing sounds for a couple days now. I was just like, what is that? The last? What would S be? I don't know. I don't know. So all of these things that are happening, right? There's a lot of interference that's occurring, and this is to prevent the homecoming of the very things that will ground us into the reality we're co-creating with each other. So, do I believe full disclosure regarding alien life forms is imminent? I believe if there is full disclosure that occurs, that is part of a secondary program that's being run in order to facilitate the one world government that they are trying to put together. Or it's already put together. They're trying to take it off the cupboard. New world order is like the elf on the shelf, right? Traumatize the shit out of the children. That's what that is. It's the elf on the shelf. But I promise you, I can punt that bitch across the room. Y'all, if you do elf on the shelf, please don't. You're fucking up your kids' psychology. Please don't. Please don't. One year I showed the elf on the shelf to my youngest baby. And he looked at the video. He goes, "That's traumatic." I was like, I know, right? That's traumatic. Mhm. So you need to step into your actual power. What this power is, it's inside you. It's part of what your purpose is in this life. And if you don't tap into that, nothing else can tap into it. You can gift it to you can gift portions of your manifestation, your birthright to someone else, something else. Ooh, okay, Mindy. First off, Mindy, girl, you are so gorgeous. Oh my God, I was looking at your pictures earlier. I'm just going to bust myself out. I don't typically go on people's profiles, but like I was looking at your profile earlier and I was like, oh my God, you are effing adorable in the most like sensual grown ass way. I was just like, oh my God, I gotta like do something. I gotta start being grown too, but I can't. We're just gonna let you be the grown sexy one. And I'm just gonna admire you. I can't. Well, I can, but I don't want to. I don't want to, but I do admire how you look, girl. I was just like, go girl. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I'm not ashamed. I looked at your profile. I was like, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to feel. I'm being so serious too. I didn't know how to feel. I was just like, why am I feeling this way? You guys got to go check her out on Instagram. I'm just saying. You having a bad day, y'all. If you want to see how I looked before I looked at her profile, you go check out my last 2 videos on TikTok, and then you'll see like, oh. I was like, you got to put some lashes or something. Just, take a minute. Take a minute. Put a little shimmer, just a little something. Mindy might be on the live. You don't want to embarrass her. Oh, it's just like you're embarrassing me. Girl, no, okay. I'll stop. That's not sexual harassment, right? I'm just trying to compliment you. See, this is why I don't talk to people in person, because I don't know when to stop. I don't know how far to go. I'm serious. I don't know how far to go, and I just keep going. And then next thing you know, it's awkward. Now's a good time to stop, Emmy. Now's a good time to stop. I'm going to go back to the reading. Oh, you were saying something. I took it off the screen. Girl, look what you're doing to me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. Where did you write that? Okay, here. Look, I live in front of Space Coast, and the amount of rockets flying out to space weekly is wild. Ooh, they're trying to stop the Anunnaki. They can't stop them. Oh my God. That is so, that's going to be such a fail. That's going to be such a fail. They cannot. Oh my God. The amount of superior technology the Anunnaki have. That is just, okay. Let's focus on what we can do. We're just going to let them keep doing their stupid shit, because stupid is what stupid does. Okay. So they're going to keep trying to do what they're doing, which is carpet the sky. Or is it blanket? I don't know. Cover the sky with a layer of caca, because they don't want us to be receiving the codes that it's going to come in through your skin. I know this is sounding very like hocus pocusy. Roll with it. Roll with it. They are trying to prevent this. They're trying to block it from happening. That's not going to work. That's not going to work, because guess what? There's enough people who have gone active. They've activated at least 12 strands of DNA. And with that, that's going to call in more frequency. The higher your frequency can go, the more you can anchor into the planetary grid. The more you anchor into the planetary grid, the more the planetary grid can host. You know what that means? That means we're going to manifest the best stuff ever, regardless. Regardless. Okay. So, ooh, salt in your eyes, like tears, saline. Ooh, hold on. Okay. Containing or impregnated with salt, a solution of salt in water, sodium chloride in or salt or magnesium, salts of magnesium or another alkali metal. Okay. Hold on. Alkali. Chemical compound that neutralizes or effervesces with acids and turns litmus blue, typically a caustic or corrosive substance of this kind, such as lime or soda. Caustic and corrosive. Ah, bastards. They're trying to corrode your connection with your divinity. So you are hardwired into your divinity. Most people don't know that. You are hardwired into your divinity. The cord comes out the back of your head, not the top, not the front, the back of your head at the base of your skull, close to where your neck attaches by your, what is it, the atlas, right? That's the area where it attaches. Guess what? That's the area where your substantia nigra is. That is proposed by some specialists to be the structure in the brain. It's more like the brainstem, midbrainish. That is responsible for you having your higher sensory abilities. So now that corrosion, so they're attempting to corrode that through what? Frequency? Through inhalation? Through what? What methods? One second. Wait. Here. So yesterday or last night, as I lay awake, actually I kept going to sleep and I kept being woken up. I kept looking at videos. Oh Lord, this is just no bueno, no bueno. So sodium chloride is a colorless crystalline compound occurring naturally in seawater or halite. It's a common salt. It's an ionic compound with a chemical formula NaCl, representing a 1-to-1 ratio of sodium and chloride ions with molar masses of 22.99. And you have 35.45. So these numbers, 22, it's going to be the 22nd. The 99 is an elevation in that Christic consciousness. 3 plus 4, 7, 1231, 100% at 1231, 200856. It's a lot of numbers. So completion, 10, 11, there's a progression that's occurring. The understanding of the steps needing to be taken, the awareness that steps need to be taken, the understanding of those steps needing to be taken. And then 35, 3 plus 5 is 8, the number of convergence, reunification. 3 is a solid number from which to initiate change for the self in order to create more change externally. 4 plus 5 is 9. So 8, 9. Oh my gosh. 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my God. Seawater. It has to do with seawater. Sodium chloride is used as an electrolyte replenisher to help prevent heat cramps caused by too much sweating. This medicine is also used for preparation of normal isotonic solution of sodium chloride. A high sodium chloride diet can cause premature mortality by raising blood pressure in susceptible people. Who's had a headache? Who has had a headache in the past 48 hours? Have you guys had headaches? So 48 hours ago. Yep, about 48 hours ago, I needed to begin taking liquid IV because I was so dehydrated that I was like, what the fuck? What the hell is this? Yes, I was beyond dehydrated. So there's things that are going on. Can I talk about them? There are attempts at hyperstimulation of particles. Hyperstimulation of particles in the atmosphere creates shifts in it creates shifts in the environment, and these shifts in the atmosphere basically, and you can find information on this if you know what to look for. I can't give it to you on here, but if you know what to look for, it has a lot to do with attempting to bring the deep, deep, deep waters out, bring it up into the environment, into the atmosphere. How are they able to fuel all of these massive storms, these like huge hurricane type storms? They need to get the water somewhere. And when they do that, this is fresh water that's being brought back down onto the earth. When they do that, it affects the flow of the ocean because the membrane was torn. Shit. Oh, let's stick to the reading, yo. Let's what did we talk about yesterday? That although deep water looks like it sits still because it's so deep, in reality, it does not. There is a current that flows through the deep ocean. It is a current. Salt water and fresh water pretty much don't mix. They stay separate. And what ends up happening is the fresh water will displace the salt water. So, let's turn this into a twin flame reading because this is oh, hey, Daddy, are you on the live stream? My map arrived. I have these maps that what? Yes, my map arrived. I have all of these theories that I would love to share. I think I'm going to start a different channel separate from Emmy Evolving where I can share these things. If you'd like to know what that channel is, I'm going to start it on YouTube and a couple other places. Just because I want to be a bitch, I want to withhold information from people that I don't like. Like stalkers. I'm sick of their shit. I don't want to give them no information. Fuck you. Anyways, Yeah, definitely sign up. Do it. Hold on. Do I still have my knowledge nuggets available on Emmy Evolving? Sign up on Emmy Evolving, the newsletter. Let's see. La 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 la. I don't have the nuggets. Oh yeah, it's all the way at the bottom. All the way at the bottom of emmyevolving.com, at the very, very bottom of the page, you can sign up for the newsletter. And if I get a sense that it's a fake email from one of my fucking stalkers, I'm just going to delete you. I don't give a shit. Find your information somewhere else. Fuck you. Okay. I told you I was in a bad mood, you guys. I told y'all. Don't act like I didn't. So, yeah, no, I definitely feel like it's time for me to share all of this different type of information. And what's going to end up happening is one of two things. You're going to see this information and you're going to be like, oh, this girl has lost her caca ass mind. Bitches, I never had one. She's lost her marbles. Yeah, no, I never had marbles. So you're either going to think that or you're going to be like, holy cacamole. Holy cacamole. This is all the stuff that I was already wondering, but I couldn't piece all the pieces together. I promise you, I'm not the only one that's being given this information. I promise you that. I am sure quite a few of you have been receiving quite a bit of information and you're thinking that it is part of your imagination, right? You're thinking like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, you're not imagining stuff. You're being hand fed from your soul the information that rightfully belonged to us in the first place, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Esty. And I'm not surprised that YouTube wouldn't let him play this live stream. I am not surprised. I'm not surprised. Okay. So the feminine is going to be the one who cultivates the ethos. It has to be the woman. Oh, shit. Okay, you did? There's no more addresses? Shit. I ripped it. Hold on. Come to me, baby. Come to me, Habibi. Habibi, please come out of the bottle, Habibi. Oh, shit. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. That's why Orion. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Shit. Shit. Okay. Okay. Shit. Are you guys tracking planets? Does anyone know Orion's position in the sky right now? This is too much to be talking about. This is too much to be talking about on a live stream. I'm not even joking. So, has to do with Orion's belt. It has to do with the pyramids, which are lined up with Orion's belt. The pyramids that are lined up on the Giza Plateau with Orion's belt. Look up Memphis because that's what that plateau was once called, Memphis. There are structures within the Sphinx. They're trying to retrieve hydroplasmic charge. Not going to be allowed. Ooh, I can't say. It's a fixed constellation. What is do you know the history of Orion? The folklore behind it, um, the fixation of the ancient peoples before ancient Egypt. Uh, the ancient Egyptians didn't build the Sphinx. No, no, they did not build the Sphinx. That comes from another time. That comes from a time before Kemet. There's a lot of information. A lot of information. This ties into Atlantis. This ties into Lemuria. This ties into hydroplasmic displacement from central core. This ties into distortions within the planetary shields, the planetary morphogenetic template, your microgrids. This ties into everything. This is such a crucial period. I didn't understand what it meant when I was told cranking up the interference during a crucial period. Lordy, Lord, Lord. All I gotta say is this can only be corrected by an ORAF. So this can only be corrected by an ORAF. Bring them all. We have been given access to advanced technologies by other non-human species because it is their hope that those who have descended, who were born from, filtered through these different lineages, founders, architects of light, these very, very ancient lineages that were allowed to incarnate during this period, this time of great upheaval and change. They're hoping that if they give those people this information, those people can go ahead and amplify and expand that information into greater technology in preparation for the arrival of the Anunnaki. You don't think that they've been developing their technology as well? Come on now. Come on now. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. This is like a nonsensical task that we can't even allow ourselves to fixate on that. That's going to play out in whatever way it plays out. What we need to focus on is what we do during this time, making sure that our guidance is not upside down, that we're not receiving it from people who are part of the controlled opposition. There's controlled opposition. Absolutely. Quite a bit. On this controlled opposition, they've been looking for certain types of people, certain types of codes. There are tech that was left that Michael says I'm on the fringe. I'm on the fringe of getting in trouble. Hypothetically, once upon a time, um, I read somewhere that it was possible that there might have been some type of technology that was found that is very advanced, but it can't be used. It takes an ORAF to run that. You need quantum energies. You're not, it doesn't accept nuclear, it accepts orifim, tritonal frequencies. You cannot corrupt an ORAF. You can't. That was the band that was not touched. The corruption went as high as the seraphim. As high as the seraphim. There are seraph who fell. So it's more than just the lion's paw. That was the primary chamber that was being fed the hydroplasmic code. You can program water to store memories, store information. It's very easy to do. The work by Dr. Emoto, is that his name? Where he was charging water and he looked at it under a microscope. One was given positive affirmations, the other was given some type of verbal accosting every day, and the structural components of the water was different. You can also see studies where people go ahead and collect tears that are cried from joy and tears that are cried from sadness, and you can see the structural components of that are different. It's a different type of design, and all of that. It's your body is made up of about 70% water. About 70%. You have the history of the cosmos running through your blood. But not every one of us have the ability to translate that information. I'm saying. So there's a lot of that's going on where it's like, under the lion's paw was the halls of Amenti, the first chamber that led you to all the other chambers. It has to do with the extensive subterranean network. And that network, it was used to transport quite a bit of esoterica that was not, it was not authorized by the one who asked or commanded for the transport of information. The transport and transcribing, that was not authorized. So that information was corrupted. They want the real information, and that's not going to be given. It's not going to be given. Let me give them the Cliff's Notes. The real information is contained within Lemuria. They will fucking fight you. Lemuria is known for peace. You know why they're peaceful? Because they're capable of extreme violence and destruction. You got to fight the very thing you can't fight. All of this is nonsensical. It's nonsensical. It's a nonsensical effort to do nonsensical things. Will you allow yourself to be caught in the crossfire and become collateral damage? I know I won't. If nations want to destroy each other, I will not partake in that. I will not participate in that at all in any way, shape, or form. That is not a part of my destiny. That is not a part of what I choose to co-create. And that's that. That's not even up for debate. It's like, nope. What's Mars's positioning? Let's see. Mars is the fourth planet from the sun at an average distance of about 228 million kilometers. 4 is the number of self. Mars is the number of self. It's a planet of the self. 228 million kilometers. 22, 22 being the number of guidance. And when you allow yourself to be guided, you get yourself, the number 4, right? Leading up to 8 being the number of the convergence, the reunification between the self and the soul. With that, 2 plus 2 plus 8 is 12. Did we not have 8, 9, 10, no, 8, 9, 10, 11, and now 12? This is about the ascension. Mars is currently in the constellation of Taurus. The current right ascension of Mars is 4 hours and 57 minutes, 44 seconds, and the declination is 25 degrees, 10 feet by 15 inches. Topocentric. Okay. It's a lot of beautiful numbers there. Taurus is a earth sign. Very bullheadedly using Mars as a land bridge, the bridge into our realm. The right ascension of Mars is 4 hours, 57 minutes. The self needs to change in order to complete 44 seconds, 4-4S, 2 selves, the mirrors coming together to form the convergence, the Pisces Vesica coming together to form the convergence. 25 degrees, 2 is the number of guidance into change leading up to completion. 7. 10 inches, 10 feet, 15 inches. 10 plus 15 is 25, which again leads to 7. Completion. This is completion on so many different layers and levels. The interference that's occurring, it's not going to be allowed. It's not going to be allowed. There are so many different aspects to this that it's too much. It's too much to go through. It's just far too much to go through. Too much. So you need to make sure that your ethos is not being cultivated through erroneous guidance. There are those who have been very strategically planted, placed within areas of access, easy access to the human psyche. And their job, their existence is centered on modifying your perception to the degree that creates a vulnerability that can be exploited. Invocation in reverse. They can't call this in. They need to reach critical mass. They can't reach critical mass without compliance. Are you going to comply? I wouldn't. I wouldn't comply. Hell no, we won't go. I'm not joking. I'm serious. I wouldn't comply for shit. Ask Ocean. Ask Ocean, how likely am I to comply on a scale of 1 to never? Where would I fall on that scale of compliance? 1 to never. So here, masculine, Lord God. So those that are needing to step up into their masculine energy, they're going to. It doesn't matter if you're female or male. Those who are going to step up, this is part of what your destined path is. You're going to be activated and you're going to be stepping up. That's just that. There is an imbalance that's needing to be corrected. In order to correct this imbalance, there's a letting go that's taking place. right? This letting go that's taking place, it needs to be allowed to happen. If you don't allow it to happen, you know what happens? The tips of your ears get sweaty. No, okay. So what needs to be let go of? This perception, like they're both in shadow, right? You're just seeing the silhouettes. The nuanced details are being obscured. Why? Because you keep turning your back to the shadows, right? You keep turning your back to the shadow. Rather than turning your back to the shadow, allow yourself to shine your light directly on the thing you need to understand. There is something you need to understand, and that is that your power is hidden in your shadows. Because guess what? Society, for the entirety of your life, has never given you permission to be who you are. When did you need another human's permission to be who you are? I know many of us think that we need other people's permission, and the reality is we don't. We don't. Do you know how many people have given me permission to be who I am? Well, now you guys have, but do you know how many people have not given me permission to be who I am? Who have tried to shame me, who have tried to strong arm me into a space of being what they tell me to be. You know what? Nibble on a hairy donkey sack. I don't care what you want me to be. I'm just going to be who I am. And if that's not okay with you, that sounds like a you problem. That sounds like a you problem, right? And that's how you need to start approaching all these different circumstance that waste your time by trying to get you to like comply with what? Let me just breathe. Let me just breathe. So, the timeout is done. Earth has been on a timeout for quite some time. It's totally been on a timeout for quite some time. There was almost like a treaty that was put in place. I don't know if you'll find information on this online. You probably might after my most hater ass people. There's people who like just cannot stand me. Yet they watch all my live streams so that they can get content to put on their social media. That's okay. As long as you know, you got to wait for me to say something. How's it feel? How's that feel? To dislike me so much. Yet the basis of everything you're doing is resting upon me. I'm just saying, you're making my armpits sweat. Not both, just one. um, so the earth has been on timeout for quite some time, right? There was like a treaty that was, put into place. And it was this thing of like, leave the little terrestrial monkey hybrids. Did you guys ever see that meme where God went to the angels and was like, look what I just created. And the angels were like, what the fuck? You totally ruined a perfectly good earth monkey. Look, it's fucking got anxiety now. Tell me you guys have seen that meme. Hold on. Here, I found it. Hold on. Let me I'm going to show it to you guys because it's worth showing. It's worth showing because I want you to enjoy the intellectual wait, where did it go? The hell did it go? Here. Here it is. This is one of my favorites. It always cracks me up so hard. So hard. Look. Hold on. God said, I have made mankind. And the angel said, you fucked up a perfectly good monkey, is what you did. Look at it. It's got anxiety. Oh, I don't know. I just find that so hilarious. So, that treaty was to allow us time to, well, no. It wasn't to allow us time to ascend. It was to see if that we had the capacity to do so with minimal interference. And honestly, I don't think we would have as a human species without the covert and highly manipulative interference of malignant non-human species. Yeah. One of my really good girlfriends said something one day, and it really brought everything to perspective for me, because I've known her for quite some time, and I get frustrated with people. I get frustrated with a sense of the way humanity treats each other. And oftentimes, when I get overwhelmed by my emotions regarding that, I would reach out to her specifically and be like, "Girl, can we just like ask Jesus to come burn it all down? We'll start all over." Right? And she would be like, "No, Emmy, no, we can't burn anything." I'm like, "Are you sure? We just burn it all, start over fresh." She'd be like, "No, you can't do that to people." And I'd be like, "Fine. Okay, you're right. Whatever, you're right." And then one day, I think like a year ago, we were having this conversation, and she brings up how she came to the realization reading the book of it's either Ezekiel or Enoch. She's extremely intelligent and highly gifted, very, very, very heavily blessed with that Sophionic energy, that wisdom. And she was like, came to the realization, and she shared it with me, that that's what the fallen want. They want for us to self-destruct because they've actually been cursed to stay forever phase locked within this earth realm with us until we no longer exist and the earth no longer exists. They cannot leave this prison. See, people talk about how earth is a prison planet. Prison for who? No one ever asked that question. A prison for who? The fallen ones. That's who. You got to ask this. Why did they phase lock the earth? Why did they install the unnatural seals that cause earth to become phase locked into a third dimensional state? Why? Yes, to block ascension. Block whose ascension? Humans? Well, what the fuck can we do? Seriously. Our understanding is so rudimentary, if that. Who was being phase locked? Who was being locked out of home? It wasn't us. This is our home. It was the fallen ones. It was the fallen ones. That's their punishment. So now look at what's happening with the world. Look at what's happening in the United States. How many derailments have occurred already? How many? How many spills? How many states? How many regions are affected? How many waterways? How many aquifers are now poisoned? How many? Do you guys know? A lot of information being withheld. And if you think that social media is the place to get the information, you better hurry up and get it now because they're infiltrating it already. There are those who have grown a consciousness, who have grown some type of morals, and they're spilling the beans. I'm a paid crisis actor, and all of the content on my profile is paid work to control a narrative. So, how do you know what to believe at this point? The most poisonous thing someone could do to a society is to feed them a half truth. Why? Well, because there's enough truth contained within that lie that it's extremely difficult to disprove. But there's enough lie contained within that half truth that you are now creating division. Right? So, what we need to focus on is the reparations that we need to make within ourselves, the ways in which we have abandoned ourselves, we have betrayed ourselves, the ways in which we don't allow the truth of our power to come forward, the ways in which we don't allow our purpose to unfold in the way that soul has been begging us to allow it to unfold. You want the answer of what to do? That's what you do. But I mean, that's so simple. Yeah. The answer was never complex. You were just conditioned to believe that if it's easy, then it can't possibly be right. Let yourself think on that for a moment. What is the difference between me and most people? Well, I can see the reality of the situation with clarity. Why? Because they failed at programming me. That's why. Because regardless of whether the solution is complex or simple, if it's a feasible, viable solution, it should be implemented. Absolutely. There is no need to complicate it with all these other potentialities that don't need to be factored in because really anything could happen. And it's very unreasonable to try and prepare for every single type of potentiality that is a potential of a potential. You're going to waste your time, you're going to waste your effort, you're going to waste your energy, and you're going to waste your opportunity. The answers to all of our problems have been very, very simple. It has been very, very simple. And you just convince yourself there's no possible way that could solve anything. It's been very, very, very simple. C. John. So C. John says the frequency weapon shield I got from you has really been helping me. Thank you for offering it at the start of the year. I have a whole bunch of different shields that are available for expedite tomorrow. Those are going to be calibrated for this 222 portal onwards. So there's been a lot of planetary shifting that has weakened a lot of the potency of previous planetary as well as personal morphogenetic work. We're now running on a different system. I don't know if anyone has talked about it on social media. The conversion occurred over the weekend. It began Thursday night. It was completed, I want to say, very, very late Sunday, early Monday morning. We've been switched to a different template. And again, I don't know if you're going to find information on this online. I don't know if any content creators are sensitive enough to have picked up on all of this. you know, and I don't want to give the impression that I know everything. I do want to be clear that I am highly sensitive to shifts because of the type of codes I run through my system. So there will be plenty of times where I will experience things in advance simply so I can make sense of it for when everyone else begins to experience it. So I can be like, yeah, no, it's no big deal. It's just a code shift. We're fine. The world is fine. We're going to get through it. Just, you know, sleep a little more, drink a little more water. You're fine. Right. And that's why I'm giving information in advance. We have to be really careful though, because if you're going to try and hold on to hope, hope is still in the infancy of your consciousness. It's still this space that counts on beings outside of you. Here's the thing, if we are a hybridized species, which we're hybridized. That's why there's no missing link. We are hybridized. We are hybridized with fallen Melchizedek patriarchy codes. That's why. We were hybridized through Archangel Michael's family lineage. They spliced the genome, they commingled it with a terrestrial species, and then came the Cro-Magnon. That's what happened. And so, with that, the part of our birthright is to reconnect on a conscious, very cognitive level with divinity itself. We are divinity, fractals of it, exploring through a different means. It's like a child, right? A child is in a learning space, it's like a classroom. I homeschooled all of my children, and we used to have a lot of tactile things. We had a lot of manipulatives to increase dexterity with their fingers, hand-eye coordination, critical thinking skills, all of these different things, right? I don't homeschool like Montessori or any of those other things. Like, my kids are on a whole other level. I got to read you guys a text from my youngest. I was running an errand the other day, early in the morning. And he texts me, "Hey, mommy, I'm learning a lot of videos. I'll tell you facts, FAX, until you get back." I was like, oh. And so he taught himself, he's not very old, he taught himself via recorded content about the function of the liver. How I asked him, well, teach me about the liver. And he goes, well, its job is to untoxinate. I was like, untoxinate? Yes, untoxinate the blood. Well, people, the average parent would be like, that's the wrong word. No, that's evidence of extreme intelligence. No, because he has to have known the root word toxic, the meaning of the prefix un, and the meaning of the suffix nate, innate, like smart. That's smart, fucking little genius. And I was like, yes, it untoxinates it. Absolutely. He goes, yeah, it untoxinates it. And then it gets sent to, I think he said, the kidneys, and then the kidneys send it to the bladder. I said, good. You know, it untoxinates it. But that's the thing. So going back to what I was saying, it's like God, creator, is this child in a learning classroom, and the entire classroom is open for this child's exploration, right? What a child will learn manipulating sand is different than what a child will learn playing with toy cars, is different with what a child will learn playing with Play-Doh, doing a number board, reading books, coloring, painting. These are all stimulating different parts of the child's brain, forming, cultivating different aspects of their executive function, their frontal lobe. God is a child in a playground, and we are the manipulatives, the different strata that is used to explore. So why don't we make this the best exploration ever? Why don't we go to our max potential by simply allowing things to occur, allowing the unfoldment that soul is asking us to allow? this sense of hope, it's almost like you've given up and you're just hoping that something comes to rescue you. Something outside of you is going to come rescue you. You are your own savior, boo, and there's nothing you need to be saved from. I think the single most toxic thing that we as human beings have been programmed to accept to our core as an absolute truth is that if you are a good person, if you do the right thing, if you listen and comply enough, you will have an easy life. News fucking flash. There was nothing ever written or decreed by God implying that life is designed to be easy as a reward. Nothing. 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 Literally nothing. I've had over the years many people tell me, "Oh my God, Emmy, you make that look so easy." Honey, just because it looks easy doesn't mean it is. Just because it looks easy doesn't mean it is. Yeah. I was doing rows at the gym, right? Cable rows. And I was rowing pretty much my body weight for each pull. I made it look easy. How do I know this? Well, because when it starts to be difficult for me to lift a load, rather than make crazy ass faces, I smile. And the guy near me didn't know my earbuds were turned off. He's like, "Shit. No, honey, it's not easy." But I'm not one to just keep complaining about shit. I'm either going to get it done or I'm not, but I'm not going to be a whiner about it. I'm not going to whine about what I know I need to do for my growth, for my health. I want a strong back. I need to do this. If I'm not going to do this, I can't complain about my back giving out, my disc herniating. I can't complain about that. I can, but that's dumb. Because why? Because I did that to myself. I chose that. So you're either going to struggle for nothing or you're going to struggle to succeed. But the challenge will always be there. Life is not meant to be easy. It gets easy after you reach the next level. So a month ago, rowing about 80 pounds, that was hard for me. I felt like I might injure myself if I didn't do it, in a way where I'm fully present and paying attention to form. I was rowing my body weight yesterday and I was like, okay, I'm doing a little too much. I don't want to be excessively sore. I'm rehabbing a muscle. I don't want to be excessively sore. I don't want to injure myself tomorrow. So let me ease up. I'll put it at like 110. That shit was easy to me. That was easy to me. I was like, oh, maybe I should have put it a little higher. But that's the thing. Until you reach the next level, 2 levels down won't feel easy for you. It's always 2 levels down that feel easier for you to do. Did you know that wherever you're anchored, you experience what's beneath that and you understand what's beneath that? So let's give an example for spiritual community people. People want to do the whole 5D thing. That was a big thing. I think they're now switching it to 7D. So 5D, if you're anchored in 5D, what you're experiencing is 4D. What you understand is not going to be 4D. It's going to be 3D. So now you're understanding the human struggle, the human condition, the human experience, while you are experiencing firsthand the gravity of fourth dimensional beings, but you still don't know what they are. You still are grasping at straws like, did I see something? I saw a flash. I saw a movement. I saw a shadow. You don't know what it is because guess what? You're anchored at 5D, experiencing 4D while you're working on your understanding and the cultivation of that understanding of 3D. That's how it works. That's how it works. So by the time people reach 7D, you are barely starting to work on cultivating the understanding of compassion for all living things. So what is the solution now? For some of us, we won't reach 7D in this lifetime because we've accepted the programming so deeply into our core. What is the solution now? Working on your understanding of where you're at. That's the solution. When you begin to understand where you're at and you begin to communicate between the self and the soul, you begin to develop an awareness of how much more you need to allow yourself to be broken open so that you can understand even more. Did you know the seed must be broken open in order for the seedling to come out? In order for the seedling to emerge, the seed itself must break open. Were you aware? If you are ever going to have a chance of emerging from that darkness, that shadow, you have to submit and surrender to the process of your soul, breaking you open, liberating you from your gilded cage. You have to submit to that. There's nothing easy about that, but I promise you it's worth it. You're worth it. All the effort you're placing into trying to understand what you're going through now, what you've been through in the past, how that will affect your future. It's worth it. It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. You have no idea the type of gravity you hold within you. When you are a lower frequency, you become much more magnetic in your energy. That means your particles are drawn closer together. You become much more dense. You hold that energy inside. That is what vibration is. The potential energy that is held inside. Why do you think, going back to what I said, a lot of the esoteric information has been inverted intentionally? So that means you are taking into your core teachings that have been corrupted from inception. So you're all talking about vibe, being high vibe. The higher the vibration, the more densified your energy is. The more magnetic, the more you collapse into yourself. Your soul is trying to break that out. It's trying to increase your frequency. In order to increase your frequency, you have to lower your vibration. But if you accept to your core that which was taught but is a lie, you will fight the process. You will not allow your oscillatory rate to be adjusted in the manner it must be adjusted. How many of you guys know about this? And I'm not sitting here as like, I know everything, you don't know it. No, but how many of you have been exposed to this truth? Not many. Why? It's interference. They want your code to be corrupted because the moment a person learns something and they accept it as truth, whoo, you will have one hell of a time trying to convince them to unlearn what they think they know. It is much easier to teach someone who doesn't know anything than it is to convince someone that what they believe is truth is actually wrong. People don't like that. They don't like that. Shifting the assemblage point will help with your sense of being centered. When you're centered and you can sense that center, then what ends up happening is you put less emphasis on balancing because by virtue of your centeredness, you're already naturally balanced. But if you're not centered, your assemblage point is off. The alignment between the entry and the exit point is off. That can really bring up topics that, I mean, we don't have time for that. This is the stuff that I teach. Knowing your positioning, the entry point of your assemblage point will help to explain a lot of the psychological disturbances that you experience. You know, if you can correct that and center it properly align it in a neutral point, neutral entry, neutral exit, a lot of that it'll go out the window. A lot of your, psychological diagnoses will go out the window. It'll go out the window. You'll find that you are functioning in a much more powerful, much more balanced state. So assemblage point is important, but it's not necessarily the end all be all of what needs to be addressed. When you begin to really cultivate that relationship, that connection between the self and the soul, all of the different components, assemblage point included, those will be brought to your attention by your soul. And you'll be able to begin really very meticulously creating a holistic plan of healing for yourself. Everyone's healing trajectory is different. It depends on your genetics. It depends on what you're predisposed to, the conditions you're predisposed to experiencing due to what happens in your environment, and just all these different things, So you have to be patient as your intuition helps you in your journey. Now, if you rush through it, what ends up happening is you don't move forward, right? You'll think you're moving forward and you'll begin to celebrate, but what you're celebrating is nothing but the degradation of the cosmic connection, that cosmic connection between yourself and your soul, or between the masculine and feminine aspects of self. You have both genders existing within you. If you look at Hermeticism and the alchemical laws and all of that, you'll be able to read up on that. Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes thrice great. Hermes stole the plates. His shit is corrupted too. I'm sorry. Hermes is tough. He's such a bichacho, for real. He changed his name several times trying to evade. Toth, Hermes, Tehuti. He's so mad. He got given corrupted information. He was trying to usurp creation. He was trying to establish immortality when he's not coded for immortality. Good try, though. A for effort. Number 4, against the grain. All right. So as you go through the things you're going through, you're going to have to swim naked in your truth, okay? There's going to be those who will be like the seagulls from Finding Nemo. Did you know that in a certain language, Nemo means nothing? Ooh. Yes. Did you see that video? Someone was breaking down Finding Nemo, and they were talking about how Finding Nemo was just this conceptualization of an existential crisis that Marlin went through. Oh my God, Marlene. That Marlin went through because he could not deal with the death of his family. And that as the movie progresses, he goes through all the different stages of grief. I was like, okay, way to ruin a cartoon. Gosh. Yeah. So, remember Finding Nemo, the seagulls were like, mine. Yeah. No, people are not going to give you permission to exit beyond their grasp. But guess what? You were destined to travel to and occupy places they cannot follow you in. I'm saying you belong to no man. You got to allow this process. You come from a legacy of light. You do. You come from a legacy of light. This is your current state. You're in the childhood of your soul, right? You're being allowed to experience a level of consciousness infancy. And for some of us, if we allow for this positive personality disintegration spoken about by Dabrowski, we will then experience this transition, transcendence into the adulthood of our soul. You're not going to reach your elderhood in this lifetime. This is Rishik self. Most people are not coded for that. See, when people talk about their higher selves, they're talking about the oversoul. And then there are those who are programmed, who are coded by their etheric genetics to be able to reach the avatar self. And there are some who are able to reach their Rishik self. These are the highest of the highest selves. Rishik self is the upper echelon of the 15th dimension. That's like at the membrane of this matrix we live in. That's the outer shell. That's a cell membrane. So I think you need to start listening to yourself. You are listening to people who, I mean, unless maybe I'm wrong. Unless I'm wrong, are you able to read their frequency and determine what level of consciousness they're operating at? Because I mean, I'm telling you right now, you have the capacity to reach 15th dimensional consciousness. Why stop at 5? Why stop at 7? People are like, oh, 7D, 7D. You haven't even reached, tapped into your Christic self at 7D. Christ consciousness starts to filter into 8D, and you can't even access the distortion-free portions of your morphogenetic template until you hit 12D. So why stop? Why stop? And this is the reason I had to be born into the family I was born into. The level of overachievement. You can't stop someone who's been programmed since birth to overachieve. Overachieve without any type of validation, encouragement, support, or compliments. That's why people be like, they try and say things to hurt my feelings, and it's like, clearly you had a better childhood than me. Clearly you had a better childhood than me, because it's going to take so much more than what you're saying to hurt my feelings. Please. That's silly. You can't hurt my feelings. First off, I don't care. Second off, I heard way worse shit and was never complimented as a child. And I was still expected to excel. Like, excel. Right. Clearly, they don't know my petty. For real. I'm just saying, you can sit here and be like, well, Emmy, I could if I didn't have like these issues with my parent, if my sibling, if my childhood. Honey, you have no problems. There are no problems. There are opportunities to learn and opportunities that you choose not to. So when you're done not learning whatever it is you're needing to learn, then choose the learning and you'll learn. Most people don't want to choose the learning because guess what? They don't want to be wrong. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to this. They don't want to that. This reminds me of I remember, I think I was either in first or second grade, maybe second grade, because I could read everything. So it's probably second grade. My mom needed to continue. As a nurse, you have to do continuing education. And she worked in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit. And so her continuing education were usually workshops that involved fertility, high risk neonates, things like that. And so when I was like in second grade, there was a workshop that was being had, a week-long workshop over in Monterey Bay, one of the hotels. And this was like early 80s, right? Yeah, she took me because I said I wanted to go. And she's like, well, you're going to be bored. And I was like, no, I want to go. I want to go. And so she took me. I got to miss school in order to go to this seminar with her. And so we went, and there was a huge lecture hall, and she gave me paper and pencil to draw, but I wasn't drawing. I was serious. I wanted to learn about fertility treatments. Early 80s, this was very cutting edge technology, and it was about IVF, in vitro fertilization. So in second grade, I was taking notes on in vitro fertilization because I just in case they were going to do a test at the end of the seminar. And it's this thing of, if I want to learn something, I'm going to learn it, and you're not going to stop me. As long as I have the basics of what I need in order to be able to understand the information that's being provided, I will figure it out. And no one is going to tell me no. So this whole time, my mom thought I was drawing because she wasn't paying attention, but I wasn't drawing. I was taking notes on in vitro fertilization. And there was this next part where we go into whatever open space that is, and they had all these different vendors, and one of the other nurses stops us, one of the other seminar participants stops us and is like, oh my god, are you the little Doogie Howser? What? And my mom was like, because that was a hit show then. And my mom was like, oh no, she just really wanted to come with me, so I let her come. I'm like, oh, but we saw her taking notes. And my mom's like, no, she's just drawing. And I asked the lady if she wanted my notes because I was taking notes. I was serious about it. IVF treatments and the high risk neonate. I still remember because it was super fascinating to me. So you're either going to choose to be fully present in whatever lessons your soul is presenting you and learn to the utmost degree, or I could have chosen to be a little brat and be like, this is boring. It wasn't boring to me. It definitely was not boring to me. It definitely was not boring to me at all. At all. So if you're going to allow yourself to be inspired, you'll be inspired. But what this card is telling me is that instead of being inspired by the situations and learning opportunities that your soul is presenting you, you're feeling instead as though you're being burdened, you're being punished. Well, it's not gonna be good for your learning and your growth. You are free to do that. Absolutely. It's your life. It's your journey. You are free to do that. But again, if you're going to choose to remain in the infancy of your consciousness experiences, that consciousness is infinite. It is infinite, and it is profound, and it is immortal. It is your awareness of your consciousness that is very finite and needs to be expanded. Your consciousness awareness is what you're needing to work on. And every single event that you experience in life is going to help you become aware of what your consciousness is trying to experience in that moment. It's up to you, though. It's up to you to bring it into form. This is not something that's going to be given to you straight from heaven. You're not going to be able to Amazon Prime this. You're not going to be able to select overnight delivery. You're going to have to climb up the mountain yourself so you can see the view. And some might even be like, and then what happens? Well, you see the view. And they're going to be like, well, that's it? Yeah. It's profound. When you can see the truth from an elevated space, that is profound. It's one thing, like, we used to love, when I lived in California, we used to love driving the several hours to get to Mount Shasta. And we would drive through the forests. It was amazing. I loved it. And as amazing and sacred as that view is, driving through a dense forest, the view when you park at Panther Meadows and see all of that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's profound. It's profound to see where the heavens kiss the tips of the trees. Oof. I'll never forget that. So sacred. So sacred. And that was the gift. That was the reward, to be able to experience the convergence of the sky and the earth, that hallowed space where only a select few living things can occupy, and being invited to occupy that with them. I mean, the sacredness of that is beautiful. It's beautiful. And maybe if you can, see life in that way, things will become much more profound. Um, can you help me with a spiritual parasite removal? I'm freaking out and cannot remove it. Yeah, you can get a parasitic extraction from my website. Just Google ME Evolving parasitic extraction. It'll take you to the page. Yeah, you don't need to freak out. It further feeds it when you freak out. So when you feed it, not only does it get more powerful, that space that you're like trying to avoid it and you're sucking your power in, that creates a void and it gives it entry deeper into your core. So don't be afraid. We can remove pretty much anything. Don't worry about it. Just get an extraction. It'll be taken care of. You're going to be perfectly fine. You will have grown from this experience. I'm sure, it's caused a lot of fear, a lot of frustration for you, especially. You'll have grown from it. Don't worry. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine if it's in your brain. That's fine if it's in your spine. That's fine. We can remove a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. I've removed deep core implants in the midbrain. I've removed all kind of different things, and no ill effects to the client. None. And it's not to say that I can guarantee things, but I'd say I have a pretty good track record, especially for parasitic extraction. That's when I tell people, like, when I live stream and I get all like flustered, I'm not a tarot reader, because I'm not. My actual subspecialty is parasitic extraction, and I even own the trademark parasitic extraction. Yeah. So I'm a quantum chelantic repatterning specialist. I do morphogenetic recodement, core code corrections, all of those different things, activations, and all sorts of different things. Those are what my day job actually is. No, it's not yet my birthday. Ooh. Yeah, don't worry about it. Eventually, with a parasite present, energetic parasite, it does eventually cause physical symptomatic presentation. We can see what's happening during your extraction, and I think you'll be perfectly fine. But if it's in the brain region, anything within the cranial space, anything within the neurological pathways, those should absolutely be addressed with urgency, right? You don't want to keep waiting, because again, given enough time, the presence of that will enter into the cellular material, and it will affect the genetic code expression of that cell. The thing I'm most concerned about would be grievous effects on apoptosis, which is the natural life cycle of the cell. We don't want any growths to begin occurring and things like that. So I think you'll be fine. Just have the extraction. So card number 24, new birth guarded vigilantly. Now, as you grow through this process, because remember, they're cranking up the interference during a crucial period. As you level up, you're going to feel very, very vulnerable. This is the time where you need to protect yourself the most. Okay. What a lot of people don't realize, and there's just, because not enough people are talking about it. That's why people don't realize this. When you level up, part of the reason why your ascension process typically will involve isolation, either self-isolation or unintentional isolation. No one wants to return your calls, invite you anywhere. That's to protect you because you're highly susceptible to infiltration. So, you got to make sure that you really allow yourself. You really, really allow yourself to be very protective of your time and your space. Okay. Restore and replenish in reverse. For many of us, we haven't been restoring and replenishing. I know. I'm going to go to sleep after this. Michael goes, that card is for you. Well, you've been talking to Ocean, haven't you? Oh my God. My oldest son said they need to put a parental restriction on my phone. A parental restriction on my phone that will cut off my access to certain apps after a certain amount of hours have been reached. And that the password needs to be a long one, like 30 characters, and they're not going to tell me what it is. And I was like, can someone just uninstall TikTok, please? In my defense, I was trying to sleep, but I kept being woken up. Shock of the new. This is not new. This is not new. You guys already know what you need to do. You know the ways in which you've been depleting, how you've been being depleted, and you got to make the decision to correct it. Okay. A 2M extraction is a very high level type of extraction, which is probably most appropriate when you have something going on within the cranial space. It will utilize tritonal frequencies rather than bitonal. It's also specifically geared towards certain strains of parasitic entities, parasitic species, a very virulent, highly contagious kind. So that would be the best for you, the 2M extraction. Village baby, hush. Galactic assistance. So things are being greenlit. Things are being greenlit. So there are galactic species that humans have not heard of, that most people are not familiar with, that's being greenlit to assist. The ascension hosts of this matrix, the aquapharions, they're being greenlit. The triangulum is being greenlit to begin clearing. There's a couple others that I cannot name in the live stream, just because their anonymity is important still. Eventually their name, their species will be allowed to be spoken about, but I guess not yet. Greenlit for good. The patience of creation has been stretched too thin. It's about to snap back. So that's why it's obnoxious that they're even trying. all they're doing is testing the creation patience, the patience of creator itself. That is not going to be good. Yeah. I mean, how else are we going to get to the new earth? How else will we get to the new earth, right? We will create it. From the wreckage of the experience we all are experiencing, we will be creating it. We are learning firsthand what we will not repeat and what we will teach the children to not repeat. This is a necessary transition. It's necessary. It's not just doom and gloom. It's necessary. It's necessary. So, renewal. There's not going to be a renewal yet. We're going to allow the entirety of the toxicity to run its course. I would have preferred a different avenue, but that's what's been selected by the collective. So that is what we will experience. Of course. Of course. So attract sigil. There's nothing that you need to work on attracting towards you. Everything is kind of already being set. Not really set in stone, but your soul has, it has selected quite a few different options that will be playing out. It'll be playing out. And you just got to be really present. You have to allow yourself to see clearly what it is you need to see within your life. I'm speaking more in terms of personal journeys now rather than the journey of the collective whole. The journey of the collective whole is a Paladorian contract with multiple layerings of Paladorian contracts. So that is not going to be undone. It is what it is. Things have been selected. The only thing you can really focus on and should be focusing on is the components of your own journey and how you will experience that. Okay. Card number 54, Endar and activation. So there's a lot of very high frequencies that are going to be filtering through. They're doing a lot of cloud cover to kind of distort that, right? A lot of cloud cover to distort that. A lot of hyper excitation of the atmosphere because it's going to filter through there. But they're failing to realize that the outer membrane, the firmament, that has that has apartheid filters as well. And those filters, which allow things in and block certain things out, that's going to transfer the information directly to the nucleus of Earth. So with that, it's going to bypass the atmosphere. It's going to bypass the atmosphere. And when it bypasses the atmosphere, there's no distortion that can be allowed because it didn't go through that distortion field. Tomorrow's fire ceremony is going to be a very, very potent experience for those who are willing to experience it to that degree, of course. That level of potency, I mean, it's just one of them things, because it's one of them things that a girl goes through, and I'm angry inside, don't want to take it out on you. I gotta go to sleep because it's like almost 24 hours. Now I slept a little bit. Little cat naps. Progression sigil. Things are going to be allowed to progress, but here's the thing. Parasitic progression. 144.59. 144.59. See the break in the sky? That's the shitstorm that's brewing for the world, right? It's a shitstorm brewing. That break in the sky, that's the change. That's the change that's coming. I can't deny it. Light code injection. Look, it's going to be injected, pressure injected. Direct port injection is what will occur. For those that are opting to be part of the fire blessing stuff tomorrow, not the fire blessing, let me find the exact one. Hold on. There is an exact one. Oh, say, can you see? Okay. I don't know hold on. Maybe it's this. Yes, it's this one. Let us see. It would be it would be the tribal shield activation. That's part of the fire ceremony, as well as the Paladorian blueprint activation. Those two that are part of the beginning of the fire ceremony. Those two will involve direct port injection. So none of the distortion field will be able to touch the codes. It won't be able to touch the frequencies that are filtering in. You know how you get so tired, you get a second wind? I know. I just want to sleep. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take some valerian after this. I'm not even joking. I'm gonna take some valerian and hope it knocks me out. So metamorphosis. Ooh. Metamorphosis and twin ray healing. There's a metamorphosis going on. Specific pairs of twin rays will be in full activation mode during probably late tonight, all the way through until the 23rd, sometime in the evening, to facilitate the metamorphosis that's going to happen. I'm going to be honest, not everyone will go through a metamorphosis. Okay. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Not everyone is going to choose to allow it. You have to choose to allow it. That has to be a conscious decision, not made in fear. You have to choose it. You have to choose the path that you're on. So, with that, it's going to be a lot of really high frequencies. There's going to be a lot of really high frequencies. The ancestral magic is not going to be allowed to filter in because there's a lot that's been being done over the past week. Okay. This past week, what's been happening has been infiltration attempts on multiple fronts. Your personal template, the planetary template, ancestral codes, galactic codes, so many different types of attempts. They're trying to really, really, really affect your ability to receive this massive boost. Now, we've been converted to a different template already, where we had an operating system upgrade over the weekend. Okay. So it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. We're going to be fine. We have to find a way to get through this. We have to find a way to navigate. You will. You'll find a way. I just got a notification. I'm sure you guys could hear it. It's some forum that I originally got added to for medical information. I wanted to get medical information. So you can ask any question there. I don't know how the hell I got added to this one. And it's not on Facebook. What is a third wave twin flame? I'm sick and tired of the notifications regarding twin flames. I'm going to take a stab at this, but I'm not 100% sure I understand the question. To me, there are 3 waves of twin flames happening at any given time. Obviously, twin flame. Hold on, I got to read this. To me, there are 3 waves of twin flames happening at any given time. Obviously, twin flames don't come into union all at one time because that would impact the vibration of the planet too greatly. And in order for us to balance the male and female energy in the universe, we have to do it literally in a balanced state. Remember, we are here to shift the collective consciousness of the universe. What that means is that we are attempting to, by vibrating in love or above, collectively influence enough of those around us to also vibrate on a higher frequency, thus creating an energetic shift around shift those around us. Twins are strategically placed demographically and geographically all over the world, creating a net of light workers, so to speak, almost like a spider's web with little lights strategically placed on the web. Now, in order for us to light up that spider's web, the lights have to be placed very specifically on the web in order for the light to shine evenly on the web. Creation doesn't give a shit about even and, no. At the core, creation is cosmos. Cosmos is the root archaic word of chaos. Creation is chaos. When you place things strategically in a very calculated manner with precise measurements, for me, with my tactical brain, I will take your little string lights and I will pull the one out that will fucking kill the whole thread. None of your lights will work, my dear. Christmas string lights, sometimes if you pull one specific light out, it breaks that circuit. You can't use it anymore. And sometimes if you take that one light and you put a different type of light that has a different type of, like, I guess, fuse or whatever, it makes it blink. Like, y'all, stop. But it does have to do with twin flames. I'm saying, think tactically. My brain, the way it functions, how can I fuck shit up in the most efficient manner without getting any of it on me? That's how galactic things think. Don't think in human terms, think in galactic. What's the most efficient way I can fuck things up without getting any caca on me? Yeah. Here, let's do this card. Okay. Final card. Ooh, Hand of Fatima. Let's see. La 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 la. Bow to your partner. Then you turn around. Okay, card number 43. Hand of Fatima. Fatima? Fatima. I don't know which part of the word to put the emphasis. Which syllable to emphasize. I can never leave you, not for a moment, not for an hour. You are in everything I do. You are my everything. My drink is your sweetness. I move to your command. I am a surrendered prey in your hands, and you are my consuming lion. Your soul and my soul are truly one soul. I swear to our one soul, I long for no one but you. In the garden of your grace, I am only a germinating sprout. The crown of my blooming is a desire to be in your arms. My hand watches over you. It brings you blessings and comfort, protection and grace. Radiant with divinity am I, and you are my child, my beloved, my angel, and my body too. I shall never leave you. Turn your inner eye to see me and see the light of my grace in your heart. You cannot be harmed. You cannot be defiled. You can only ever be what you are. Me, alive, radiant with love. You are giving birth to more spirit than you have ever held before. During such times, a divine midwife can be helpful and supportive. This is Fatima, radiant daughter of the great beloved, who reaches from the skies, who reaches up from within your body, from deep within the earth, and brings you the gift of protection, grace, and love. You are safe. You are held and you are bound within her warmth. She has received your prayers and she honors your devotion to life, to love, and to growth. She will help you. Ask for her blessing daily. You can use the simple sacred honoring ritual to do so if you need guidance on how to pray to her, but any words from your heart, spoken in authenticity, will suffice, no matter how simple or ornate they may be. She responds to the feeling behind the words, and she responds instantly beyond time and space. In fact, she has responded even now, perhaps before you even knew she was needed. This oracle brings you the guidance that what is being born in your life right now, in your consciousness as a seed, perhaps of a new way of being, a new idea, belief system, philosophy, or sense of self, is going to come to maturity under the loving protection of the Divine Mother. I mean, was I not using these visuals, these analogies through the whole live stream? Right? Did I not say that if you are a seed, you must be broken open if you stand any chance of exiting that dark space, of becoming the flower that you are? You're also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts. Have some discernment about who you involve yourself with. I mean, this is literally a reiteration of everything I'm telling you guys, okay? You are also being asked to heed your intuition and instincts. Have some discernment about who you involve yourself with and how you choose to use your time and energy. Allow yourself to feel Fatima's grace, guidance, and comfort in you by giving yourself permission to be nurtured through your own choices and the people or situations you say yes or no to in your lifetime. Even the things that should be perceived as negatives can be the very things that nurture you, can be the things that feed you, that give you shelter during times of inclement circumstance. This is a way to honor her presence and allow her to help you, which she wishes to do in all ways possible. Love is all things you see, dearest angel. And that means saying no can mean saying yes to something greater. So give yourself permission to say your no and yes as dictated by your heart. This oracle also brings you the message that your body is sacred and worth your attention. You do not have to become obsessed. You do not have to push or judge your body, but you can honor him or her as a sacred animal through which your spirit creates soul and expresses itself. This is a truly wonderful and amazing gift, extraordinary and yet fraught with challenge. The spirit can be powerful. Sometimes it can be hesitant too, enough to really engage with the body and come to life. There's a story that the angels sang music to lure the spirit into the body, but used to its freedom, it was reluctant to experience itself in what looked like rather confining matter. The spirit did not know what Fatima would be initiating um, the spirit into her mysteries through the body. She was going to be sharing the sensuality of life, the sacredness of love, the deep mystery of life, death, and rebirth, and the wonders of nature. She was going to show the divine could live not only in light, but also in flesh. The divine also lives in shadow. It lives in shadow. For what is divinity but the totality, the everything, the nothing, and the spaces in between? The everything, the nothing, and the spaces in between. That is a totality. To deny one would be to remove yourself from a total space. It would force you into a dualistic nature, right? Fatima holds the wildness of divine feminine wisdom and the sanctity of life. She has great gifts of ecstatic presence, only able to be experienced through the spirit living in the body. She will share this if you allow her to guide you. Once the spirit recognizes this, even just gets a whiff of Fatima's glorious fragrance, The enthusiasm for life ignites, and the wonders of the world experienced through the body become a way to revere the great beloved and turn all of life into the temple of love. This oracle comes with guidance. Giving your body rest and healing is the most beneficial at this time. I promise I'll go to sleep. There are symptoms you are experiencing, anything from fuzzy headedness to tiredness and aches and pains, as well as shifts in body temperature that seem unbalanced. And these are directly related, if not solely, to the interaction of your spiritual essence with your sacred animal body. These will even out under Fatima's grace and protection, like two housemates learning to live together and enhance each other, rather than distract and annoy each other with their quirks and differences. This settling in process will happen all the more easily when you ask for Fatima's help. This oracle also advises that if you ask for help and protection in any matter, it will be granted. There's no exception to this rule. There's nothing you have done that has made you unworthy of divine intervention, grace, and love. Not one thing, ever. Ask, trust, and receive. Mm. Mm. I feel I'm being told to read this again. There is no exception to this rule. There is nothing you have done that has made you unworthy of divine intervention, grace, and love. Not one thing, ever. Ask, trust, and receive. It's time for you to reach out to the things that you need to reach out to. It's time for you to receive the one thing that you need the most. I don't know what that is, but look, you're reaching out and you have this fear that as you reach out, your hand will be grasping at the empty air. That's not true. If you reach out to the thing that you need the most, right? I think you'll find that there is something there just waiting. It was just waiting for you to decide that you're ready to reach out. Michael says to just look at the bottom. I need to go to sleep. Michael says to just look at the bottom to show you guys the bottom. Card number 19, Sacred Union. So you're going to have a connection that's going to help you. It's going to help you with realigning, rebalancing all of the things that have gone amok over the years, right? Through your lifetime, things have kind of gone astray and you haven't been able to, maybe do the things that you needed to do to heal. And you're needing to heal at this point. You're needing to heal at this point. This fear that you have, this fear of rejection. I mean, I get it. Because who doesn't fear being rejected? But at the same time, it's kind of just like, you know what? Here, I got to show you guys this. I think I downloaded it. That was a really good video too. Here, I did. Okay, here. I got to show you guys this. It totally resonated with me. I felt so moved by it. Because this is it's kind of how I processed my journey of rejection therapy, right? I had this fear of rejection for quite some time. And here, if it plays music, then I have to turn it off, but hopefully, let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Here. I don't want any of the screen to be blocked.
Basics of rejection therapy, asking a stranger to play rock, paper, scissors. Excuse me, would you play rock, paper, scissors?
Let's do it.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Let's do that strategy.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck that guy.
cheating. Like, fuck you, I think you cheated. She's straight up. That's how it would go if I went through with doing rejection therapy. I just feel strongly that that's how it would go for me. I just can't. But I mean, this is not about me. Don't worry about rejection. Just work through it. Whatever it is you need to do, you need to do it. Just do it. Just do it. Be about it. Be about it. Do what you need to do. Heal yourself. Allow that healing to translate into exponential growth and, like, be a badass. Do it. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to be live tomorrow for the fire ceremony. I highly encourage you guys to select expedites. Let me just put all my phone back together. I highly encourage you guys to select expedites. Remember, the tribal shield activation and the Paladorian blueprint activation will be using direct port injection. It is a very intense, very potent form of delivery. Okay. Delivering the frequency directly into your core template. Let me just, okay. I just had to put this back. So I'll be live tomorrow. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay just put that there. So meevolving.com/shop/222 portal. I'll be live tomorrow, 4:55 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or is it 5:55? I don't know. Let me see. It will be at 4:55. It's in 27 hours. I don't know. It's in 27 hours. Yeah, Lindsay put the thing on the screen. Give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I might not be live tomorrow morning because I might be passed out. I might have to sleep in. I don't know. I don't know when I'll sleep. Needs to be soon. Because I don't know what will happen if I don't sleep. I'm too old for this insomnia shit, yo. I just am. I'm too old for insomnia. Please. Okay, I'm going to bed. I love you guys. Thumbs up. Bye.